Hi, Queen. It's Melissa Knox Brunson of thequeencode.com. And my question for you today is, what do you really want? What do you really want? I'm talking about deep in your heart. What is it that you really, really want? You know, in this society, sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day life and trying to make a life and trying to make a living that we forget the real reason why we're here. We forget the true essence of what we're supposed to be doing. Earlier this year in January, my fiance sat me down and he said, "Mo, you're working too hard." He said, "I'm watching you and you're not pacing yourself, and eventually it's going to have an effect and a toll on your health. And I want you to think about how you can begin to pull back because you're working way too hard." Now, normally when he says this, because he says it all the time, normally when he says this, I say, "Oh, you know, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not working too hard. I love what I do." But this particular time was so important because 2011 had been a phenomenal year for me. I won an International Business Award. My business was growing. Things were great. I was stepping into the mission more so than ever before. But I was really exhausted, plane hopping, traveling. And in 2012, when he said this to me, I was really at a place where I felt burnt out. Not only that, I had gotten revelation a couple days before that conversation that 2012 would be a successful year, but it would be a different kind of year. That the success would come from a different type of effort. I got the revelation that 2012 would be a let go, let God kind of year. Not just for me, but even on a global level. So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to him say this, and for the first time I'm really hearing him, and I'm letting that resonate. So I go downstairs and I'm really meditating on this because I know he's just hit something, right? And so once I begin to meditate on this, I really began to get a lot of divine downloads, right? I began to really involve myself with this beautiful spiritual exchange. So Spirit is speaking to me and I'm asking questions and I'm getting answers. And so I say, what is it that I really, really, really want? What is it that I really want in my heart? I've figured out what my mission is. I've figured out my assignment, and I begin to streamline my energy towards it. But things have gotten a little chaotic, and I need to get back to the essence of what I really want. And out of my heart came the word influence. And I began to think about what that meant to me. What I really wanted was influence. What I really wanted was for the mission and the message to really impact people, to really affect change in people, to motivate people, to inspire people. What I really wanted to do above all else was to have my mission and my message change some lives. And so then Spirit says to me, think about some people who walk this earth who've been very influential. And immediately I thought about people like Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi and Mother Teresa and Nelson Mandela. And I started going deeper into that. And eventually I began to think about Jesus. And when I thought about Jesus, you know, there's really no place that you could go on this earth where most people don't at least know the name in their language and know something about the mission. 2,000 years later, this man's mission still lives on, still affects people's lives, still motivates people, inspires people, still creates positive change in their lives 2,000 years later. That's influence. So Spirit says to me, you know, Jesus didn't have a to-do list. And I thought to myself, you know what? That is absolutely correct. Jesus didn't have a to-do list. But his message 2,000 years later still lives on. So I began thinking to myself, what is it that he was doing? Jesus simply did two things. He lived his truth and he was a light. Jesus understood his mission and his message, and he was sold out to it. Jesus didn't say, okay, I'm going to try this Messiah thing out, and if this doesn't work out, then I can always go back to the family business of being a carpenter. He didn't do that. He understood his assignment, he understood his mission and his message, and he was sold out to it. He lived the truth that was naturally in him, and he was a light. And he touched lives. He was very influential. Just by virtue of touching him, you were changed. And so when I began to think about what I really wanted in my heart, influence, I realized that it's not about a 5-point plan or a 10-point plan or this, that, and a third. Queen, if we really want to have influence, because that's what we're called to do as leaders, all we simply have to do is live our truth and be a light. And so when I think about the fact, Jesus didn't have a to-do list, don't get me wrong, we're living in a different time right now. In this time and age, we have to have some kind of structure. Even Jesus had structure. He had 12 disciples. I'm pretty sure that when they got to a particular area, some of them were on assignment to get food or water for the group. Judas was his treasurer. So he had some kind of structure. But the thing of it is, it's not the to-do list that's the problem. It's when we allow the to-do list to dominate us. When as leaders, as queens, we are to have dominion over things like that. And so my message to you this week, Queen, is that, in our hearts, for many of us, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, what you really want in your heart may not be the thing that you're doing right now in your life. Maybe you've allowed some layers to go on top of the thing that you really want. It's time to get back to simplicity, because that's where true power is. It's time to get back to the root of why you're really here, because all the power is at the root anyway. So, Queen, what is it that you really want? As you're going about your day-to-day, just remember that it's not about the things that you have to do. It's about the thing that you are called to do. Never forget that. Never forget the reason why you're really here. And best of all, Queen, always remember that no matter what people are telling you that you should be doing or how you should be doing it, your only mission, your only real mission is to live the truth that's in you and to be a light. Okay? That's my message for you this week. In the meantime, I do have a gift for you. If you go over to my website, I have a wonderful free audio called Queen, You Were Born to Succeed. And this audio talks about the keys and how you can truly step into your power in 2012, 2013, and beyond. This is really simple stuff. Again, Queen, simplicity. Lots of times we're looking for the solutions to our problem in a big, bright, shiny package. And the truth is, some things are so simple that they're overlooked. Okay? So, Queen, simplicity is power. So go over to the site at www.thequeencode.com and claim your free audio today, and I'll talk to you soon.